at attention. And it's a start in the third Varsity 8 grand final. Princeton, Harvard, Penn, Dartmouth, Northeastern, Yale. Quick start and a clean start across the board. As we take a look at these starting sequences, they'll now be in their high strokes, of course, getting the boat moving as quickly as possible, 0 to as fast as they can in those early goings.
46 for Harvard, 48 for Princeton, 44 for Pennsylvania. Dartmouth at 41. Yale on a long start at 43 strokes a minute. Northeastern down at their racing base of 37 strokes a minute. Yale pushing hard. They look like they want to be in the lead.
Yeah, Yale pushing really hard, closest.
Yale and Harvard right up at the top. Hard to say which one's in first. Princeton right there as well. It's maybe 3/4 of a length first to sixth. Got to call it. Wow, I'd say that's probably Harvard in front of Princeton by just about a half of a deck. Then Yale, Pennsylvania, Dartmouth, and Northeastern trailing in sixth.
Great push from Harvard. Harvard and Princeton up at the top of the field. We see these two starting to push the rest away. Harvard and Princeton certainly not strangers to one another, having raced earlier this spring. Princeton a serious threat for gold, but Harvard with the advantage.
Harvard's still pretty high, it looks like, in their base cadence. They may be a little bit higher than Princeton, maybe a beat. They're at 38.
Little look from the 3-seat in the Princeton crew over to Harvard just next to them to make sure that they're just in touch and looking to get their bow ahead. It is Harvard with the advantage, but we'll see what Princeton gets up to in these early stages.
Not much of an advantage, but they've kind of left the rest of the field behind. It's Dartmouth and Yale pretty much fighting about level in third. Pennsylvania a deck behind them, and then Northeastern a half a boat behind those three. So Harvard and Princeton making it a race for gold. Harvard has the lead right now. Princeton at 38, trying to challenge Harvard for the lead.
Now,
Harvard responding, yeah.
Harvard responding. Now Harvard with the push. All of these crews settled into base rhythm. This is where medals will be made.
Harvard's push up at 38.5, 39. There's a little back and forth between Harvard and Princeton in terms of push and respond. Pennsylvania, Yale, and Dartmouth giving the closest chase. Northeastern just another half a length off of that pace.
Oh, and what a shot of these two going head to head. Harvard holding on to the advantage, but Princeton on the hunt. That little shift from Princeton, is it enough as we come in down the back half of this race and look toward the final 500 meters? Harvard, of course, able to see them. They'll be glancing just off their left shoulder. Does Princeton have another level?
Last 500. And Princeton needs to be sure that Harvard doesn't get too comfortable at their base cadence, because you can't afford to let them get a breath. You've got to keep the pressure on. That's what Dartmouth is doing, pulling away from Penn. It's hard to tell whether Yale is in the picture or not, but Yale's been there for most of the race.
Closing stages of the race, Harvard and Princeton. Harvard still making that statement, and in fact taking a little bit of water.
Yale at 40 trying to challenge for bronze. I think they've been able to push out in front of Dartmouth. It looks like Yale in third, but it's Harvard by about half a boat length over Princeton. Can Princeton come back in the last 250? Dartmouth maybe half a deck up on Yale. Yale a half a length ahead of Penn.
Harvard with an answer to Princeton. Princeton's been hanging with them this entire race.
Yale trying to get momentum on rating. Yale trying to come into third place. I think Harvard's going to walk away with this one ahead of Princeton, but the fight now is for bronze.
Open water finish for Harvard as they come through to take the gold in the third Varsity 8.
Princeton in second. Yale claims third, just ahead of Dartmouth.
Oof.
That was a great sprint by the Elis to overtake the leading Dartmouth.